So if you're watching this video, it assumes that you already have Eclipse and the JDK set up, whether you did so on the Windows or whether you did so on Mac. So what we need to do now, this video is all about opening up your first game engine program. Now, there's no special file, new project for that because it's a custom built thing. So what we basically have to do is import it every single time we do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way down to our game section on our Google Classroom, and you're going to go to this Eclipse Game Engine Resources. And what we're going to need to do is download this game.zip file. And here's the instructions about what we're going to be doing. As it says here, download the game.zip file. And what I want you to do is I want you to put it in the same folder location that your workspace is located in. So wherever you created your workspace. So for me, this is the folder where my workspace is, this is the folder where my workspace is created. So I'm going to drop it right in here. Now that being said, I've already downloaded it just so I can save the time. But basically you middle click on this or right click and say open a new tab so we can download it. And when you download it, you're going to get a file called game.zip. Now mine is currently in my downloads folder and it's right there. So I'm going to take this game.zip and I'm going to move it into that other folder right inside of here. I'm just going to drop it right in. So this is going to be, I'm going to leave it in zip format. Every time I want to create a brand new game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to extract all. Again, I'm using Windows 11 right now, so if you're using Windows 10 or before or Mac, then extracting is a little bit different. Either way, your goal is to unzip that file. So I'm going to extract it, and when I do so, it's going to extract it right here in this folder, and it's called Game. Give it a new name. A unique name, a name that represents whatever you're building. So if you're building a game for like, I don't know, Space Invaders, then you might call it Space Invaders. If you're creating Super Mario, you might call it Super Mario. But you still have to follow our standard naming conventions, which means no spaces and use mixed case. No special characters or anything like that. So because this is just a demo, I'm just going to call this Game Demo and hit Enter. So now what I need to do is I'm going to drag this in and just drop it into our workspace. I'm going to leave this zip file here because every single time I want to create a new game, I have to do the same process. Unzip, rename, drop it in the workspace. Now you might be like, yay, I have a game now. You don't. So going into Eclipse here, this is where we were in that first introduction video where we first learned how to install Java in the first place. I can close this program now. This whole project is still sitting here though. That's okay. I want to bring in my new game. So I'm going to right click on here and I'm going to choose import. And it's the same thing whether you're working on Mac or Windows. And I want to choose general and then existing projects into workspace and just click next. Now we need to browse into the directory that holds that project. So I'm going to click browse and there's my game demo. I'm just going to select that. Select folder, and there it popped up. So you got to browse, whether you're on Mac or Windows, again, just browse to that one. Make sure it shows up, and then hit finish. And we officially have a game inside of our program. Now, this one already has our main.java file built in. We don't have to add anything new. It's there for us. Before I get into that, I did want to show you one other thing, the folder structure. So for our Java game engine, you're going to be adding things like images and sounds and all sorts of fun stuff like that. That goes down here in the res folder. Res stands for resources. Resources being images, sounds, and everything like that. So you can see is you're clearly going to organize yourself, putting your music in the music file, your sound effects in the effects file, your regular game images and sprite sheets inside of the sprites file, and then your background images inside the backgrounds folder. So all of this stuff is nice and organized. So let's look at the actual code that it created. I'm going to bigify this a little bit. Open this up, and we can see that it is quite a bit more intimidating than the Hello World program. There is a lot going on in here. So instead of like a 5-line program, we're looking at like 130 lines of code here just to start. But this actually does quite a bit, and we're going to get into more detail in that when we get into the introduction of Eclipse, of the game engine and things like that in future videos. This video is just showing you how to create a new game project within Eclipse. So now that we've loaded it in, every single time you load a new game in, the first thing you should do is run it to make sure it works. Yay! So if you get this black screen pop up, that is the game actually running and working, doing what we expect to do. Eventually, we're going to start adding images and all sorts of fun stuff on that. But that's it for now. There's nothing else to it. You now know how to create your first game projects. Good luck. Have fun.